welcome Pechi here. So she will present some of your teaching on Zika infection.
Hello everyone, my name is Preeti. I am a fourth-year PhD research scholar. I am working under the supervision of Dr. Anurag Singh at IIIT College. Today I am going to talk about analyzing the probable insights of antibody-dependent enhancement factors in sequential dengue Zika infection. So these are the contents of our presentation. Introducing the presentation, we know that dengue and Zika both are mosquito-borne viral infectious diseases, and Aedes aegypti is the primary mosquito who is responsible for transmitting this disease. Dengue and Zika both possess significant global health concern on the basis of their severe secondary sequential infection. One aspect that complicates the sequential secondary infection is ADE. ADE stands for antibody-dependent enhancement factor. So, if we want to define ADE, so ADE occurs when antibodies from a previous infection, say dengue, bind to a different but close related virus, say Zika, and then facilitating its entry into cells and then potentially exacerbating the illness. Now the question arises, what challenges does ADE represents to combat sequential infection cases? So as you all know that virus-specific antibodies are encapsulated as antiviral and significantly contribute to preventing viral infections. But in certain circumstances, in some certain cases, it is found that the occupancy of some specific antibodies may perk the virus infection under the influence of ADE parameters, as it is also required in reference 1 and 2. In ADE, what happens, so this perplexing behavior or this changing behavior of antibody-dependent enhancement has become a severe concern for developing Zika vaccine and for future medicinal therapies. So in this study, we are going to examine those potential impact of ADE on sequential Zika infection after a primary dengue infection. This work has been published in European Physical Journal Plus. So this is a model formulation, its schematic representation and its mathematical representation. So going towards the schematic representation, here we can see that we divided our total population into 7 mutually exclusive compartments. Say one stands for VD, it stands for vaccinated individuals, UD stands for unvaccinated individuals, ID stands for dengue-infected individuals, RD for dengue-recovered individuals, and S stands for population susceptible to secondary sequential infection. Here we consider the secondary sequential infection is from Zika. And IDZ represents the class of those infected individuals who are sequentially secondary infected with Zika. And finally, our totally recovered individuals consider the class R. So starting from the pie is the recruitment rate of susceptible individual. So initially what happens, the population of the vaccinated compartment increases as the susceptible individuals got their vaccination at the rate 5 weeks. And the remaining ones, that is pi 1 minus PD, moves to the class UD and increases the population of the compartment UD. Next, we assume that the population of that those individuals who are unvaccinated in the class UD, they got their primary dengue infection at the rate lambda and construct the class ID. And after that, those individuals who got recovered from dengue goes to the class RD at the rate gamma. So as you all know, here it is to be noted that after some time, the immunity gained by the recovered individuals from dengue, natural immunity, and the immunity construct the class S. From here we assume that since we want to analyze the impact of ADE on sequential Zika secondary infection. So here we assume that these staph got their secondary infection, secondary Zika infection, but at the rate lambda, but here under the impact of ADE parameter, which is pi, and consider and moves to the class IDZ. Finally, the recovered individuals from finally those individuals who got recovered from their sequential Zika infection moves to the class R at the rate now. This is a mathematical representation of this model. From the mathematical point of view, we determine that the solutions of our system are positive and bounded in the provided domain. Also, we determine that our system consists a unique infection-free state. Also, we find an expression for basic reproduction number R0. Basic reproduction number is the average number of secondary infected cases generated by a primary infected individual in a totally susceptible population. These are the other mathematical results. So, talking about the numerical application of our model, we collected the data and show how well it fits to our model. So, for this purpose, we collected a dengue infected weekly cases data from the government website of Espírito Santo, a state of Brazil. We see that the model here, the red dotted represents the actual data and the blue line represents our model of incidence. The proposed data is from February 14, 2021 to June 29, 2021, and then we estimate some of our unknown parameters. After doing the parameter estimation, we obtain the following values of the parameters. Okay. Now to determine how each parameter of our model is dependent on the infected cases or the basic reproduction number, or we want to check the sensitivity of the parameters. So we perform some partial rank correlation coefficient method, and we determine and we check those our three important parameters, which is PV, alpha, and pi. PV stands for fraction of individuals who got vaccination, alpha stands for waning immunity, and pi stands for ADE factor. And we see that the impact of ADE is higher in both of these, in both of the cases. Moving towards the result, first of all, we see the impact of vaccination in the absence of ADE factor. Here we assume that our ADE parameter, which is pi, is equals to 0 in each case, and we gradually increases the value of p. But we see that and here x-axis represents the time and the y-axis represents the dengue infected cases. And we see as we increases the value of p in each cases, 0 from 0 to 0.6, we see that the number of infected individuals, dengue infected cases decreases with time, which is obvious. And also our graph between PV and R01 also shows a decline in the number of in the value of basic reproduction number, which supports our result. These are the observations which I have talked already. So now moving forward, the second result is the impact of vaccination along with ADE factor. Here what we did, we fixed the value of the ADE parameter to a higher value, say 1.6. And then we gradually increase the value by 20% in each step. The value of PV, we increase the value of PV by 20% in each step, and what we found, here the x-axis represents the time and the y-axis represents the sequentially Zika infection cases. Here what we see that as we increases the value, we fixes the value of 5, but we gradually increases the value of PV. But instead, we are obtaining that the number of infected individuals are also increasing in this case. Like from the second plot, we can see that the value of R0 is also increasing in this case. So from this figure, we observe that it is explored that how vaccination interacts with ADE within the secondary Zika infected population, accompanied by ADE factor 5 holds a constant at 1.6 and progressively increasing successively. So what we observe that for a higher value of 5, an effective vaccine could fail in maintaining the balance of the sequential secondary infection, which is a matter of concern. Next we investigate the long and short term dynamics of phi on secondary Zika infected cases. Here the x-axis represents the time frame and the y-axis represents the sequentially secondary Zika infected cases. Here what we did that we gradually increases the value of phi starting from its baseline value 0.48 and then up to 1.1. And we see that as for a short period of time, we see that as it increases the value of phi, the number of cases decreases with time. But when we observe the same case for a long period of time, we see that after some time, increasing in the long run, for a higher value of phi, the number of cases also started increasing. So what we observe from these figures is that an increase in the ED parameter by 20%, 40%, 60%, or we can say by 20% in each step from its baseline value corresponds to a subsequent increase in the sequential Zika infections by 10%, by 4% in each step. This illustrates the prevalence of antibody-dependent enhancement in the presence of an effective vaccination on Zika outbreak dynamics. Next, we plot some surface plots diagram which shows the combined impact of parameters of R0. As we know that R0, from the previous expression of R0, we can see that the R0, our R0 is an evaluation of R01 and R02. So R01 is also from that expression we can see that R01 is proportional to gamma and is proportional to 1 minus P and down. So what we see that as we increasing the value of P, as the value of P increases, the value of R01 also moves towards the cooler dose, towards the blue green. Also in the second graph we can see that our R02 expression, from our R02 expression we can see that our R02 is proportional to alpha as well as phi. So we can see that as we increase the value of alpha and phi, there is a hike in the value of R02. These are the observations. So, what is the conclusion of this study? The analytical findings and numerical simulations suggested that the dengue vaccination may help to control the disease in primary infected cases, while it exerts a negative impact on sequential Zika infection. It is observed that if the ADE parameter is increased by 20% in each step, for example, from its baseline value, then the sequential Zika infection cases also increases by 4% in each step. Our results suggested that existing immunity to dengue virus may enhance the replication of Zika virus with significant implication for understanding disease mechanisms and developing future Zika vaccination. We hope that the insights gleaned from this work are poised to provide valuable guidance to public health policymakers. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you. So you will have also time to discuss questions with you want to ask me?
How you model capture the ADE effect? Yeah, because I think that the secondary infection does not mean that caused by ADE always.
Specific cases, there are studies or there are research papers which claims that there exists the impact of antibody-dependent enhancement in sequential secondary infection, which could be a hurdle in the manufacturing of Zika vaccination.
You have a question? Why?
Thank you so much for that great talk. And I'm curious, you you use the vaccination for dengue to Zika treatment, something like that. Is it what you're saying?